Mr. Soul of a Man, we are live. We are in the building in this thing. Let's see. Let me get this together here. Yeah, man. So I hope everybody out there is doing good and great and amazing on this big old Tuesday. Tuesday. Let me get some water. Let's see. Trying to get this thing together here. But y'all come on in, make yourselves at home as I get myself together over here. Let's see. Yeah, this thing is acting crazy. Let me see. You know what? We're just gonna leave that just like it is, for real. So what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Tonight we are doing divine prophecies, man. This is for the believers out there. So y'all come in, make yourselves at home. We're gonna get on into this thing and make it do what it do. You know, ultimately what it feels like right now, it feels like a lot of us are sitting, if it feels like a lot of us are sitting in a ship and we're waiting to get to our next destination. You know, it really and truly feels like that. It feels like we are sitting in a ship and we're waiting for, we're really and truly like we are really just waiting for our next destination. I don't know why this thing is. Let me see. Okay, okay, we're good. Let's see. Just trying to get this thing to stay. I'm a one person show over here, y'all. So bear with me. Yeah. So it really does feel like, you know, as we kind of move to the end of May and we are getting into the summer months, you know, it really does feel like we are sitting in the, like we're sitting on the ship, just waiting to, you know, we're sitting on the ship and we're waiting to get to our next destination. You know, it's, you know, fundamentally I always said, you know, God is good, God is great, God is always in control, you know. And sometimes I was sitting with the, you know, sometimes I talk to people in the spiritual community and they would, you know, say, hey, you know, maybe, you know, and I would think like, man, you know, maybe I am supposed to be, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, folks. You know, maybe, yeah, monitoring spirits. I know. I know. I know. Like Drake said, they know, they know, they know. For real, man. If I could just get this thing now. Okay. Let me see. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So one beautiful thing that we do have coming up is that we are going to start to see changes, and we're going to start to see changes within our lives in real time. You know, even though, like I said, we're sitting on a ship, but we're sitting on a ship and we're sailing towards new destinations, new and amazing destinations. You know, in our lives, and that's the amazing, and that's the beautiful part about it. You know, we are headed towards new destinations. And if I could just get this crazy thing to work. Let me see. All right. Let's see if that's gonna do it. Yeah, so we are heading towards new and amazing destinations. One thing I am getting is satisfaction and success guaranteed. It feels like if you have been a prayer warrior, if you have not given up, if you have if you have endured, and a lot of us have endured, I just feel like we've endured enough. Like for real. But you know, in the times that we're living in, it's interesting to say this, but we are just getting started. You know, really and truly, we are just getting started. You know, but just know that the second, it's almost like saying the second half of everything is going to be greater. I know the road can get rough. I know that you know, I know that it's been a back and forth and all of that good stuff. What's going on, Lady D? How have you been? It's been a minute. You know, I know the road has been rough, and I know that things have sometimes have seemingly been rocky. But you know, everything that we do go through, you know, it makes us stronger. You know, it really does. Yeah, you know, yeah, I'm still here, still in the fight. You know, I haven't hit the lottery yet, but you know, hey, what can you do? You know what I mean? Like for real, you know. But yeah, yeah, I'm getting the coast is clear. You know, I'm getting the coast is clear, and you know, it it feels like you're about to. If you're not, if you don't, if you feel like you're not on a direct assignment right now, but this assignment feels very divine. This assignment feels very divine, and I'm also getting relocation for you out there. You know, for those keeping score at home. Yeah, so I'm definitely getting a relocation, and I'm getting a separation. Right. So your gift, um, it's almost like it almost it feels like you were lost and you were in this weird neighborhood, and people like, you know, you tried to go to people for help, they didn't wanna whatever, you know, even though even though they had the resources, they were being very like stingy. They didn't want to let these resources go, you know. But you know, you have a higher purpose and you have a higher calling on your life. And I was sitting with this myself. You know, when you have a when you have more of a higher calling, and when you have more of a higher calling on your life, you're going to go through more. You're going to experience more than what the average person is going through. Because, you know, this person, everybody else seems like, you know, I don't know. It just seems like, well, up until the times that we are in now, you know, but before this, early part of millennium, it looks like everybody was driving a Ferrari. Everybody was in a great relationship. Everybody had a great house, lived in a pristine neighborhood, and all of that good stuff. You know, it felt like that. It really and truly, you know. But they're saying that there's no honor among thieves, and those people, you know, now there's a separation. You know, it really it feels like there's a separation between you and them. Now it's time, you know, when you breathe from here on out, you're breathing new life into what it is that you have. It feels like it feels really and truly, it feels like you're breathing new life into where you're going and what you're doing, and and all of that good stuff. But you haven't just been approved. You've been generationally approved. I know sometimes, we get hard on ourselves because, we want to be so committed to this thing called righteousness and this life and this walk and all of that good stuff. The important thing is that, you are doing greater. You're doing greater than most, really and truly. A lot of this stuff we've been just kind of cast and thrown into the middle of, and a lot of the stuff we really didn't ask for, but here it is. It's like that song with Fresh Prince, yeah, here it is, a groove slightly transformed, just a bit of break from the norm. So it's like we don't just go through normal stuff. We go through abnormal stuff. It's like we don't just get rain, we get torrential downpours in our lives. Those who are divinely chosen and connected with, Yahweh, the Most High, Yahshua, your angel guides, and all of that good stuff. No, we're gonna, yeah. So so for us, if you are, if just know that, just know that you are cut from a different cloth. Really, just really and truly know that, you are. I don't know how this thing is. Let me see something. Trying this thing together here. Okay, let's see if that'll work. All right, cool. Yeah, so just know that, really and truly, that that you are cut. That you are cut from a different cloth, and sometimes I'll go into different rooms on different social media, apps and stuff like that, and I'll hear different people speak, and I just feel like you don't have to sit and yell at people. You know what I mean? Like, we can just sit here and have a conversation, and the important stuff is the message, the words that the people need, so that they can be edified, so that they can, continue to go. Oh, that is heavy and that is deep. I heard something earlier. A young lady said you could go to church on Sundays, but not have God in your own house, like the rest of the 6 days out of the week. So you can go to church, you can be that individual. You some people portray to be holier than thou. Their outfits are nice, and the makeup, the haircut, the suits, and you say, oh wow, there's sister such, brother such and such, and you think with our natural eyes, you think like, oh wow, that person is so, but behind closed doors, or do what I found out is that your relationship with God is going to be built mainly away from the church, away from those people. When you're by yourself, when you're dealing with everything that you have to deal with, when you have to deal with everything that you have to deal with, Monday through whatever. That, when you're away from the church, when you're not around, your churchy folk and all of that good stuff. And, we're not bashing the church. We're just talking about, church is about, a lot of church is about religion. When you get away from the church, when you when you when you get away from the church, that's when you talk about what is spiritual. What is spirit. That's your relationship. That is your relationship with God, your own prayer time, your when you're sitting reading your Bible apps or reading your Bible, or in your prayer closet. Yes, it is in the truth of the light, because it is by the Spirit. That's how, it's the belief, that's how we win, and that's how we're going to win. I'm trying to get this thing to work, but I don't know. I'm just gonna leave that alone. Goodness, no. All right, I'm gonna just leave that right there. Right? It's so many have fallen, like so many have fallen, man. Sometimes I agree with. I was looking at a video about spiritual stuff, and somebody said that if you have a calling on your life as a prophet, of for God, and I believe that's it's very rare. I truly believe that it's very rare that somebody has that calling on their life. I feel it's just, I don't know. I really do. I know. I know that there's not supposed to be a million prophets walking the earth. That's just unheard of. Like, really, I know. The secrets in the tabernacle. A lot of these people are like the old Pharisees and Sadducees, and the people that would condemn Christ, today. But anyway, but fear not, you're going to get, if you have been, I'm giving that, you're going to get the desires of your heart. If you have been, someone who has continued to pray, continued to believe, continued on your journey, and not blame God for everything, and whatever, you're gonna come out of this thing greater than yeah, because it just feels like time is up. It just feels like time is up for the fakeness, for the pretenders, for the people. I don't know. It just feels like time really and truly is up. For those fake people. I keep saying, man, to be alive, to be alive in a time like this, it is very it is very interesting. And it just feels like somebody's about to get some great news in their life. And can't we all use that right now? I mean, every day, like, man, can't we use like some great news? All of the crazy stuff that is happening in and around the world. Like, can't we really and truly use like some? Can't we just, like, within our spirits, man? Can't we just use, like, really and truly use like great news, like, seriously? Because I'm like, at the times that we're living in right now, it feels like we're living in a twilight zone. I'm like, this, a lot of this cannot be reality, but I'm glad to see that a lot of the righteous people are, a lot of people are still out there fighting, and that's the important thing, to keep fighting, to keep believing, to keep trusting, to keep doing the work. Yes, you have to still, put in the work and all of that good stuff. So you have a skill set, and you're gonna find this out very soon. You have a skill set that is about to be greatly desired out here. Like, seriously, you have a skill set that is greatly desired. That is so unique. That is built. You're built. You know how they say, like, the I don't know, the commercials for the it's like you're built for tough. You are built for this. It's like you see, it's almost like if you see water Where some people might be, afraid of water, you dive straight in and just swim like a fish. And that's where we're moving more towards, nowadays. It's almost like it's almost like, your hard work. It's almost saying like, your hard work is about to pay off. Like you can write, you should have like, um how can I put this? You should have like 7 doctoral degrees, just based off the knowledge and just based off the knowledge and the experience that you have. It's almost like you've been, it's like this feels like I see caps being thrown in the air. I see celebration. I see people cheering for you. I see people rooting for you. you know, this is your time, like now. This is, you're moving forward into something. You're moving forward into something greater, in the times that we're living in right now, because you have been through so much. People have no idea, man. They have no idea what makes you the you that you are. They may see you, in passing or whatever, but they just, you're made up of something different. You're made up of something special. You're made up of something unique. It's almost like you you have a vibranium spirit. You have something that's sought after, man. You really and truly do. You have something that is sought after. You have something that is more precious than gold. But the song says silver and gold. I'd rather have, Jesus than silver and gold. But man, you have something that is you have something that's been put inside of you that is just like so precious. Come on, dang. Let's see. All right, let's see if that'll work. Yeah, but let me take this off because I don't know why this thing. Yeah, no, go down. Yeah, so you have something that is, man. You're about to walk. You're about to walk into your Daniel season. There are going to be things that are going to be offered to you. These things are going to start to blow your mind, rattle your spirit. Like that song by Elvis, Emotional. You're about to walk in your blue suede shoes. This is your blue suede shoe season. Your, what is it, Valencia? I don't know. All that name brand stuff. You're greater than that. You're higher than that. You're about to be exposed. You're about to be exposed. You're about to go out here, and explode. You really are. This is, you're not walking. You're marching. You're not walking. You're marching into that season. You're marching into your season of greatness, into your season of righteousness, and this is just for you. A lot of things that are going to be given to you. This is just like you're about to be like you're about to leapfrog the competition. If you even want to see it like that, you're about to leapfrog. You're really and truly about to leapfrog like this competition. This message is not for, every time I come on here, my messages are not for everybody, because I don't know why some people will just, I don't know, but I'm not. That's not my problem, man. That is not my problem. But you have an explosive. Hold on. You have an explosive desire for greatness inside of yourself. You. Let me see if I could. Yeah. So You have this explosive desire, and you have this explosive desire inside of yourself for the great things that are about to come. I'm talking about your life is about to do a whole 360. Like really seriously, your life is about to do a whole 360. You're about to get new this, new that. This is moved out of the way. That's moved out of the way. When people see you again, they're not. I don't know. It's like their willingness to understand. Like they're gonna wish they treated you better. They're gonna wish they treated you right. They're gonna wish they stuck around. Oh man, had I knew, but you know how fickle people are. They want what they want when they want it. So it's like Matara, like Goku said. See you next time. But man, you have no idea the purpose, and you have no idea the purpose for your life. You have no idea, right? For the purpose, for your life. You are right now. You are like, and don't forget to subscribe, folks. If this is your first time catching Mr. Soul of a Man. You have this amazing, accurate, purposeful life that's about to be like, man. Imagine a deck of cards. You're about to get a full house, a royal flush. Um, I don't know what I don't. I don't play poker, so but yeah, you're about to get the greatest poker hands that, and your poker face is immaculate. Your poker face is immaculate. People, when you show up, people have no idea because all of the things that you've been, and you probably could have lost a whatever person in your life, and you will probably never let people know, and they will never know. They'd probably find out, months or years later. Man, and you came in that day, and you were just so blah blah blah, and so it's like your poker face is so beyond their understanding. Like I said, just imagine you playing poker, and you have like this raw flush and this, and you have the greatest poker hand that you could, the greatest poker hands that you could ever imagine. It's like um what's the name? There's this show I watch. A guy named his name is Raymond Reddington. I forget the name of the show, but anyway, he says uh, every card I play. He said when the cards are in my hand, it's all they. He said, what did he say? When the cards are. He said every hand that I play always wins, something like that. So you're about to play one of the greatest winning hands. Like this setup has just been this setup for you and what's coming, what's over your life is, man, it's mind blowing. It's out of this world. The it's like the divine supernatural work. It's I don't know. It's hard to explain. But you have not you have not seen. Yeah, so you have not seen what is. Man, we give all glory to God. Shout out to the ancestors as well. But man, it's like what is to come in your life is going to be. You're gonna be so great. Like you're gonna look and be like, what? It is just gonna, you have this supernatural covering, you have this supernatural calling and covering over your life. When when you it's like when you deal with God, it comes, I don't know, it just comes differently. It is just so supernaturally overwhelming and beautiful, and just for your perseverance, just because of the love that is there, seriously. But don't take my word for it. You're gonna see, you're gonna see and feel. I know you're gonna see and feel. And hi out there to everybody. In the hallways, not it's all good, but you're gonna see. For your obedience, you're gonna gain so much, and for those who were disobedient, well, you're gonna lose so much, and a lot of your stuff is gonna be held up until you get your minds right, and that's not from me. That's from so. Whew, blocking your blessings, man. Oh, that's a rough one. But anyway, it just feels like you're about to get seriously busy. So if you're in a transitional period, I wouldn't. What's that old terminology? Don't sweat the technique. Just use that time to write stuff out, manifest. Do whatever you got to do, clean some stuff out, get rid of some people, get ready for what is about to come. What is about to come into your life. A lot of people have been waiting for you for this has been a long time coming. Like, really and truly, this has just been a long, long, long time coming, and a lot of people are going to be say more people are going to be happy. You know how it is out here. Somebody gets success, they come into a lot of whatever. People are gonna have their conspiracy theories and all of this stuff, but those are gonna be the people that are still gonna have to go to those crappy jobs the next day and still hate their lives for the decisions that they made, and that's on them. But you're being elevated, so you're gonna be. It's almost like saying, you're going to be elevated. And if this is your first time checking me out, don't forget to subscribe. But you're being elevated to something greater. All that experience, all that knowledge is putting you. It's going to put you in different. It's almost like saying. Oh, it's almost like saying you're going to be in different campaigns. Yeah, it's almost like it's interesting. And it's almost like saying that you're going to be in different campaigns. And people are going to be coming to, you to write story. They're going to have questions. Like, these people are going to there you go, changing generational, but man, that's a great title for a book. And I don't have anything to write with. That's okay though. I'm gonna remember that. Let me see if I could. Yeah, so you are someone who is gonna be changing. I can't I cannot I can't say that any better than that. You're someone who's gonna be changing generation beliefs, and some of these some of these folks, they need that. They need something to change their mindset and to give them some kind of hope, to so that they can go out and do greater, man. Because the world needs me, just like it needs you, your brilliant ideas, to go out there and shake this thing up, to really and truly to shake this system and this world up. We really and truly need that. So I'm also getting, oh, okay. But at that name, but changing generational beliefs, man. That's like wow. That is just so man. That is huge. And that is so right on time. For the like for this message, and thank y'all for hanging out and hanging out with me. I know I don't go live a whole lot anymore, but hey. But thank y'all so much for just hanging out with me on this big old Tuesday, a big old rainy Tuesday here. But yeah, you're caught. You remember those old cameras, those old Polaroids. You would snap the picture and the picture would come out, and you'd have to shake it. Shake it like a Polaroid picture. You know what I'm saying? You'd have to shake it like a Polaroid picture, and the picture would get developed. So your what you're about to see now is your new everything is been developed, and it's now ready for you, and it's now time for you to step forward and into that role, not just a role, like the Rock would say, know your role and shut your mouth. You've got what would he say? Yeah, you got 5 minutes, and the Rock means 5 minutes. But anyway, that is why today's wrestling cannot hold a candle to what it used to be. But anyway, so yeah, so yeah, but you're about to celebrate. You're about to get very, very busy. You're about to get very extraordinarily busy. The things that you probably put aside that you didn't have not gonna say time for, but you're you know yeah, you do. You got generational wealth coming in. You got a lot. You have a lot of great news coming in. Um, a lot of if that inspiration didn't hit you for those projects and for your abilities and all of this stuff, all of that stuff is about to take shape now in your life right now. All of that stuff is all of that stuff is happening. That's why you've been seeing ancestors in your dreams. That's why you've been feeling these different this you've just been feeling different, huh? And it's great. It's gonna be yummy. It's gonna be awesome. I'm telling you. I know. It's you gonna that's why you had to move. You know, the move was very strategic because now you're around new movers, and it's almost like the it's you're going to be surrounded. We're going to be surrounded by. Whew, Lord, this is going to happen. It's a rollout. This is a rollout over the next few months. This is a rollout over the next few months or the next few years of your life. So, it's your category systematically, and I'm getting return to sender. Somebody tried to whatever. People in there nonsense. They don't know how protected you are. They don't know how protected you are. They don't know whose you are. And that's the beautiful thing. You are so you're so surrounded. And don't forget to subscribe, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, you are so beautifully surrounded that sometimes people might say something and you might, you know, it's like your mindset is just so, you're thinking about other stuff, other great things that you have to go and do, other ideas and all of that good stuff. So, yeah. your mindset is, your mindset is, your mindset is shifted generations ahead of what people could fathom. And sometimes people, oh, you think you know everything. Well, you know more. For my cartoon fans, you're what Yogi Bear would say. You're smarter than the average bear. You really are. You're smarter. Um, like you're one of those. You're one of these people, and some of y'all they didn't catch it. They didn't. You know how you see like these kids graduate from high school at like 8, 9, 10, 5 years old. You know what I mean? They're like, they're sitting in Harvard classes at the age of 6, working on their eighth doctoral degree, and they're speaking 50 languages. You know what I mean? Like you're like that. Like if they would have caught you like earlier, you had this, you just had the way, you just had it, man. You all, but it was like, right, that genius. You're right. You had like that. Um, it's almost like saying, these kids, autism and all that stuff. These kids are on other levels, man. And you are the parent that can see that. You can catch it. You can work with it. You can homeschool them so they can leapfrog and go out here and do what it is that they have to do. That's just because you have stuff that was just birthed inside of you. You just have it. That's just what it is. You have it. You've always had it, and that's just that's just how uh you know that's just how that goes, man. You're synchronized. You're synchronized. It's like when you hear your ancestors, like you can it's like you can feel when something isn't right, when something's about to change, when it's time to move, when it's time to go. When God talks to you, it's you don't have to run. Oh, you don't have to wait till Sunday to go talk to Pastor Jones. You don't have to wait. You don't have to wait till Sunday to go talk to Pastor Jones because things aren't going right in my life. You don't have to do that. You know how to set up a prayer closet. You know how to open your Bible. You know the old ways of doing things. Those ancestors that they say, oh, those are evil. The grandmother that everybody liked, now she's an angel or an ancestor, and they're calling her demonic because you see her in your dreams, and they're like, oh, that's not natural. No, that's jealousy because they can't do it like you do. That's just, it's a surprise, surprise. Surprise, surprise. They can't do it like you do. It's just like, yeah, grace and, they say favor ain't fair. Favor and fair. But what I'm saying is that you're about to take off like a rocket ship. So if you got momentum going on in your life, continue that momentum going. Like continue, like let that momentum, they say, momentum. Let that momentum continue to go and unfold. Because you're dealing with things that you've never dealt with before, and I get that. Your mind sometimes it'll shift to a place where you're like, oh, I don't know, and blah blah blah. You've accomplished things that you probably couldn't even. Like I said, favor ain't fair. Isn't that right? Can I get an amen from the congregation?
Amen.
See, they say favor is not fair, but there it is. You have it, and you have it, and you always you just got it like that. But just to let y'all know, I am an author. We have all of these books here. If you guys what Solo Man, Portrait for the Mind, Body, and Soul, Dream the Impossible, Little Girls Who Dream Become Women with Vision. A lot of those coming. Oh, Princess Destiny and her magical hair. So yeah. So if you want to get one of these amazing award-winning books, just inbox me and we'll set it up. Yeah, man. So you have what's going on, Miss Sweet? How are you? So man, I see you being knighted. I see you kneeling down. I see somebody with a sword, and I see them knighting you. I see you I see you taking your swan song. I hear the Rihanna song. Uh, what is it? How about a round of applause? What's the name of that song? I don't know. What she's saying, how about when she's saying, what's going on, Dr. Bear, psychologist? When she's saying, how about a round of applause? Because it's you're about to just shoot to the stars, to the stratosphere. It's like, yeah, take a bow. There you go. So it's time for you to. Oh, thank you for the. Yeah, thank you for the gift. So it's time now for you. Also, pay attention to your dreams. You're going to start to get these beautiful, lovely ideas, not just in your dreams, but also as you're going through the day. Things for your practice and for new ideas for new divine goals and new places that you're going to be shifting to, new places that you're going to be shifting to. See somebody doing like a nationwide speaking tour. See people taking, I see folks taking the show on the road, very much so, taking the show on the road. This time it is just you. You're just know that you're being, well, you are the star attraction now in this story. I know maybe you had to watch other people, whatever, whatever, but that time is over. But for you now, for you in the now, it is showtime. It is time for that, the older you to tell that young man, that young lady, that kid that had those dreams that you're moving forward to accomplish greater, greater things out here. It says, greater is he that is in me, that is in the world. Prayer through supplication, things are being funneled. It's gonna come through like smoke, like divine smoke and mirrors. Like people are not going to be able to imagine how you, like, how were you able to sit down and talk to the first lady? What were you doing at that photo shoot? What were you doing at that photo shoot with the Obamas and this person that that this did this, these great titans of industry, and they know who you are. They know who you are before this is, they know who you are before you even was booked for the conference, or whatever your name is. You're about to be in new stratospheres. Your name is going to be in lights. I cannot, like, your name is going to be, I see a marquee, and I see you. That's the best I can. That I see a marquee. I see you. I see, I see tours. I see. I see. Man, it's just, there's layers to this, man. I see you in with love. What did I say? from the what would love, what is it, would love might come my way. So from the divine with love, this is, your, this is, man, like I see you in like magazines, digital print. um I, you're going to, you're shifting to something, and greater than the material, like the ideas, or it's like the ideals that you have. This is your center. You're the centerfold now. You're you're more than buzzworthy. You're bigger than a catchphrase. You're a generational phenom. I don't know if you can, I don't know if you can, like, this is confirmation. I was always told my name would be, yeah. So, we're seeing transitional times where you're not, you don't walk how natural people walk. You walk within a divine supernatural realm. You in a walk in a divine supernatural realm. You've always had the innate power within you to change stuff, in your life. But, again, this is bigger than you, because you're gonna be out here doing this not for you. And thanks for the follow. You're not just going to be doing this just for you, but you're going to be out here doing this for other people. For, you snap the chains by how you speak, by how you think, how you dress. You're it's like you have icon written. You have icon. Yeah, it's like people. Yeah, there. It's just the love. You're going to, you're going to get love here. Yeah, but, when you get away from here, and, start going around the world, it's, man, I'm telling you, they gonna throw everything at you, minus the kitchen sink, not in a bad way, but, it's like they're gonna offer you so much. Like, you're gonna have I'll get keynote speaker, but you're gonna have um it's like you're gonna almost like get the love of this worldwide amazing dignitary. You know how people like Nelson Mandela, people are just gonna be cheering, and, but you have the mindfulness to go in, uh in and out, time and time again, to get this done. So the YouTube channels are gonna be big. The social medias are gonna be, and that's great, that's cool, but this is way bigger than that. Like, way, way bigger than that. Like, this is, all of this is preordained in your life before, like, social media and all of this stuff. So now, now it's like, when, Lord, when? Like, when is the, and, it's just, I just hear now. I just hear now. So, whew, yeah. So I get, it's almost like it's like the immaculate conception. Now you are, yeah. So it's like your spirit made flesh. How you're walking, how you're, uh how you're walking, how you're moving, how you're being elevated, how you're being uplifted, how your social media numbers are gonna just really just climb and climb, and these endorsement deals and all of this. They say make sure you have your attorneys look over that stuff. They say ironclad agreements, ironclad agreements. Like seriously. But this is only for a chosen few. This is only for a chosen few, only for the times that we're living in, because and it's almost like, you know, um, it's almost like it's almost like you're gonna know the good from the bad, but you already have this inside of you. It's almost like you're locked in. You know, you ever watch that? I don't know the name of that show, The Voice, I think it is, where they'll hear like just I hear these beautiful angelic tones, and it's like you're hitting the thing and you're turning around and you see this new life. You see this beautiful, amazing new life that's been tailor made, red carpet. You're always red carpet ready. Even it's like your power, you're a dignitary without even being one. That's how, man, that's how amazing it is. I just had to charge this phone up. Let me see something. Yeah. Yeah, but you're really and truly gonna want for nothing. This is over a lifetime. This is really and truly over a lifetime. And you deserve this. You deserve every bit of it. You really and truly you do. Because yeah, because you just deserve it. Telling you, stuff is just going to start to come in with lightning speed. The stuff is going to really and truly. Hold on, this thing always acting crazy. Okay, yeah, here we go. Yeah, so this stuff, those older people, it's from this point on, those people who doubted or whatever, I don't know, they fell off. It's just access denied, and that's just what it is. That is just what it is. They had their opportunities to call, to do, to give an encouraging word to something. They didn't for whatever reason, and you the way had to be cleared, because there's just too much. There's just too many amazing people that are about to come into your life. Show up and show out. Now, I'm not just talking about people that just, could you help me with this, blah, 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 without giving anything back in return. So, it's almost like this, you're gonna help them as much as they help you, but it's almost like their sole purpose is to help to uplift you, you know, like really and truly. It's almost like their sole purpose. What's going on, Miss Nika? How are you? So, and again, don't forget to subscribe, folks. It's almost like their sole purpose. It's like your voice has mattered for so long. I cannot. I'm good. Like your voice. It's like, man. It's like the voice that you used to speak and the voice that you've always heard in your head. It's like those doubts would echo. You're like, oh, can I do this? And time again, you do it, whatever it is. It's like you just take shape and things just take off for you, and that's just what that is, man. But yeah, I had to come on tonight because I had questions. I'm gonna have to watch this over again. And if y'all aren't, check out my YouTube channel. The link is in the bio. It's on my link tree. Soulofaman504. So yeah, right. It's like you can, it's like you can naturally do anything now at this point. So yep. And I will end it with this: If God be with you, then who can be against you? And I will just leave it at that. But all right, folks, I'm gonna go ahead on and shut this down. And again, don't forget to subscribe, and I will catch y'all next time. Thank y'all, and thank y'all for hanging out too.